الملكة المغربية للجودو وفنون الحرب المشابهة.
Welcome to Marrakech, the first day of competition at this year's Marrakech Grand-Prix. The city is an exciting mix of the traditional and the modern. Famous for its rich culture and many bazaars, Marrakech is a diverse and exciting destination. We're here at the Marrakech Exhibition Centre for this leg of the IJF World Tour, and about to get underway with the final block and all the medal matches, the first of which is a bronze medal match in the under 48 kilo category featuring Shira Rishoni of Israel. She'll be up against Melanie Clement of France. It'll be Rishoni in the white judogi and Clement in blue. The referee in the middle for this one is Kostini Balas of Hungary, and with commentary on this and all this afternoon's medal matches, it's a very warm welcome to former world champion Loretta Cusack-Doyle. Good afternoon, Loretta.
Thank you very much, Sheldon. And what we've got is a very exciting match coming up now. Both very evenly matched, as you looked at the statistics there. And it'll be wondering how the head-to-heads, well, the last time they fought was in Zagreb, 2018. And Rishoni did lose that time, but wonder whether she's got the bit between the teeth to just come back. And I know that she's a feisty little character with a big heart and a great determination, and I'm sure we're going to have a real battle here.
Came in here this morning as the number one seed and fell at the quarter-final stage to Italy's Francesca Giorda. That put her down into the repechage, where she had to defeat Melanie Clement's teammate, Blondine Pont. Melanie Clement, for her part, lost in the semi-final to Monica Ungaranu.
Well, Rishoni this year has started off with a flying start where she took a gold medal in Tel Aviv. Obviously home ground, but just shows you the quality of athlete that she truly is. And there you see her digging away in there in the Niwaza. But Clement, 5th in Paris and a 5th in Osaka. So she's very familiar of being very close to the medals in this level of tournament. It'll be interesting to see how they both battle away here. Another year, Olympic qualification points at stake. And you see a real head-to-head situation here right now. Both holding the sleeve, trying to control each other's positioning of the arm, which is a bit of a stalemate, and the referee will call possibly halt to that. But Rishoni comes over the top, takes a high collar, draws Clement down to her knees, and just saved herself from picking up the first Shido.
Clement by far and away the top fighter in the French for the French at this weight category. Well, she's down at number 16 on the world ranking list. So despite the fact of being the French number one, she still got a little bit of work to do to make absolutely certain of a place in Tokyo.
Well, for many years, Bouchard was the one that dominated that weight category, didn't she, for a long, long time. And when she moved up the ranks into the weight categories, then it's left that little bit of a gap, and now they're sort of reinventing themselves again and trying to establish an athlete to dominate that weight category, and they have had a lot of domination over the years at 48
yeah, at 48,
kilos.
yeah.
A lot of history that's gone in that weight category for France.
And most noticeably in sort of recent past, Frédéric Jossenet.
Jossenet, yeah, for many
a
years.
long time.
Yeah. They seem to, when they get someone, that they hang around for quite some time, and then there's a little bit of a lull within that weight category, and they gradually build it back up and bring somebody else in.
Rashoni picked up a penalty for passivity there as well. Half the contest gone, and both players have picked up penalties. Nothing to worry about at the moment. A second one would cause some problems. Clement has been prone to do that today. Have a little stab at an attack and then really defend quickly. She's got to be careful.
Yes, yeah,
you know,
definitely. She has that koshiguruma. She tries to catch the head, but a lot of the time she completely misses that head and finds that she collapses under that with the effort that she makes, but the timing is just not right. Now, she's a tall athlete, and you would feel that using to her advantage would be those leggy techniques, the uchimato, the ouchigaris. And at the moment, she's playing second best with the grippings, as you can see there. Rashoni keeping it very nice and tight, and there was waiting. She was waiting for the bounce there with the counter. She just waited. She was teasing Clement with that leg, and she almost took the bite. French coach giving some valuable feedback, some guidance out there for them, but as we know, the person they've got to be interested in is the one that's trying to fight back at them. Encouragement. I think it's lost at this stage, really.
We were chatting about the French at this weight. We mentioned Frédéric Jossenet, but not to just remember a little bit after that, Laetitia Payet as well. She ended up.
She was a cracking little player, wasn't she? Little
firebrand,
little dolly face, wasn't she? She was had doll features. She was gorgeous, but what a fighter she was.
And then, as you said, Amandine Bouchard, who moved up and out of the weight category. But really, it was between Jossenet and Payet.
Yeah.
Between them, took 18 medals.
Oh, they really at one stage dominated, didn't they, at the 48 division? Lovely Uchimata entry, though. Blocked herself.
She's only just managing to get the left hand down and stop herself from going over.
Well, the last 8 seconds remaining in this contest, and it will go to golden score. Last time. It's been a 1-1. 2018, and the time before that was 2014 when they met. So a few years between them. Firecracker, this one, Rashoni. Bags of energy, very fit athlete, good gripping skills.
There's that left arm missing again.
So powerful, isn't she? But Clement she turns her back, but she doesn't connect, and there's no grip. She tries to, like the koshiguruma, she tries to catch the head. In fact, what she should be doing is placing the hands on the gi. She had more chance of connecting there and knowing that that head wouldn't slip away from her. She's such a tiny wee thing that she's got to get hold of her.
Yeah, you can always find a way of working the hand up there and around the collar. But she's trying to. That was an opportunity now.
You look at the grip. There isn't a grip. The hand is placed on flat. And it's flat. Yeah. There's no engagement of grip in the gi at all. The hands do not close, and hence the reason it's slipping away from it all the time. Now there was a better result. He hooked in, but a good attack. It wasn't a score. There was very little control at the latter stage of that entry. But she's piling the pressure on now, and Rashoni down with 2 shidos really has to come back and start doing something a little bit special. Now, hopefully she'll get a chance. You always get a bit nervous. I think it could be coming to the third and final Shido now. And
yeah, she just stepped it up enough. Put her foot on the gas just when she needed to. Melanie Clement of France takes the first of this afternoon's medals, a bronze medal in the under 48 kilo category.
Of that match, and a very pleased and relieved athlete from France, Clement, as you can see there.
We come now to the second of the bronze medal contests in the under 48 kilo category. Katharina Mentz of Germany faces Francesca Giorda of Italy. It'll be Mentz in the white judogi, Giorda in blue. And the referee in the middle for this one is Vasily Smolin Jr. of Russia.
Well, they've never met, but this, you can look at the statistics there, world ranked, they're miles apart from each other, but that doesn't say anything when it comes to the day they're competing against each other. And when you look at the grades and the actual wins by Epon and wins in general, they're very evenly matched. And Men's, for me, had a wonderful performance in Dusseldorf. People may say because it's home grounds and that she just was rising to the occasion, but I just feel there's something a little bit special with this young lady. She, in Tashkent last year, she also got a 5th place. She's been knocking on the door for some time and comes from a group of young athletes that seem to be coming very, very strong in Germany. And but the Italian, cracking Taya Toshi we've seen earlier on, but won a gold medal in the Madrid European Open, and also in the under 23 European Championships was bronze medalist. So definitely a strong competitor and looking very stern-faced as she marches onto the mat, looking very keen indeed.
Good little intro for Giorda, setting things up nicely.
Well, Giorda, for me, has been looking very strong out there, hasn't she? She's been a real contender here for a medal and a place on that podium, there's no doubt about it. And she comes out a little bit passive here. Her head gets pulled down. As you can see, Men's drawing on that head, working the makikomi, and comes in for the first attack. Giorda still trying to settle into this contest as she works her way down into the Niwaza. Didn't see any real threat as she transitioned down. But she's got that high collar grip, draws the head down of Men's. You would say that she looks in trouble, but she's so used to coping with that situation that it doesn't seem to faze her too much.
First minute gone, no score as yet. Both fighters remain penalty free, just testing the water here, really.
Yes. Giorda trying desperate to get that arm over the top there, that right controlling the head and the shoulder of her opponent, using her feet very nicely indeed as she drops her to the ground and now follows through into the Niwaza, looking for an opening there. Men's again, first on the attack, steps across. She's looking for that uchimata. Hasn't really found the entry in the forward attacks as yet. You would think that she would work with the feet a little bit more, creating an opening for herself, getting past the defenses before engaging into the big attack. Chigari she comes in with, but as you can see, that right arm of the Italian is blocking that shoulder, which makes it very difficult when you're the shorter of opponent to get past the levers. Well, we're past the halfway mark. Still no score. And penalty free. Cross grip, the hand once more, the right hand goes over it, controls the shoulder of the German, who then reacts by bringing her high, a little bit higher. The left side controlling the head, on the right drawing it down, trying to bring her down to her height, which is a good tactic to work on, and it did unsettle the Italian slightly.
Minute 28 left to go, no score as yet. Difficult to call this one.
It is, it's very, very close. Both have showed some real interesting judo and the ability to tactically play this contest. Now we're starting to accumulate the shidos. Now the dynamics will slightly change. The Italian will feel slightly under pressure and she will have to start performing a little bit more. She cannot afford to start to get the next one, because then after that going into a golden score with two shidos would make this really difficult for her, especially up against a very strong opponent like Menz. Menz controls that arm. She comes in first. Starting to show a bit more of a better tactical play in this contest, working off the sleeves and using her feet to generate a little bit of frustration against the Italian, who's been backed onto the edge of the contest area with very little way to go at this moment. She has to come out fighting, she can't afford to defend, and what we're seeing is a defending action, but also a transition there in the benefit of the German there, just at that latter stage.
Only thing that we're missing here is a score.
That's all. We've got a lot of excitement going on, and there's lots of tactical play here, but no finishing for either one of these athletes.
Really changed the whole shape of the contest if, well, but in this late stage, you know, after 40 seconds, if you score what we were looking at,
rescuing it.
Very difficult to come back.
Definitely. Unless you have the ability to throw at will, and sadly, and in no disrespect, these young ladies are not going to be able to do that. It has been a very close match and very defensive match in a way, both looking for very controlling grips, as you can see, a left to a right. Men's going for the high collar grip again with the Ochigari. Oh, and there's the mistake. There's the mistake on the last second.
Unbelievable.
Oh my, and she looks shocked. Well, Menz made the sacrifice she committed, and sadly it didn't pay off. She came in with that Ochigari, and those long legs came into action. Yoda just timed it right, as you can see, had the upper body control and countered. Taking her opponent back, scoring that Wazari. Well, if you're going to finish it, that's a way to finish. But they're going to have another look, but they've taken it off, because what had happened, the elbow was there first, and it didn't actually hit a shoulder, so.
And if she'd had the other hand down and had, you know, protected herself against being thrown with both hands, then it would have counted.
It would have counted.
But she just went on one elbow, and then there wasn't the continuation to put her on the scoring part of the body. So that's why that one was called back. So right at the death.
So Menz gets another crack at this.
Another life. She gets another lifeline.
She's definitely got the lifeline handed out to her there, and
Jorda's just got to try and gather herself now. She was almost on the medal podium there.
Well, this is where this is where the mind games play, isn't it? Jorda was celebrating. She could not believe it, and she could see herself with that medal wrapped around her neck. Now it's the disappointment of knowing that that didn't happen, and she's got to still keep fighting. And with that all going through her head, can she focus on this match at hand when Menz is out for the kill here? She
goes over.
And she gets it. A different play of mindset. Really, this was about the strength of the ability within the mind rather than the body.
Why would you attempt at that stage to fight with only one hand? Surely you're much better. You spent the whole contest keeping your opponent away with good gripping. All of a sudden, for the first time in the contest, you end up with one hand on your opponent, dancing around, allowing her to get in there and hook in. You know.
But sadly for the Italian, she lost concentration. When she thought she'd won it, her mind went on to the podium, her mind went to winning, and then all of a sudden she had to deal with the disappointment of not being there yet. And and when it comes down to it, the strength came from Menz thinking, I've got another crack at this. I'm in it. I'm not in it. I've got a way to fight back, and that's what she did.
I can only think that she switched off.
She did, mentally she just switched off. She couldn't get the strength and the mind to work for her. Well, it was a lovely Ouchigari there, as you could see. Hooked in for the Uchimata, and with a hop through, she hopped around, persevered with it, and scored. Well, it was a little bit of a change of reaction there. She turned and the arm went under, and it was like an Uchimata finishing touch to that. And eventually the big smiles did come, but to the wrong person at that time. Poor.
Indeed.
Well, you just feel for the Italian, you really do.
Yeah, having disposed of the number one seed as well.
Yes.
Right, we come now to the final of the under 48 kilo category. Julia Figueroa of Spain faces Monica Ungaranu of Romania. It'll be Figueroa in the white judogi, Ungaranu in blue. The referee in the middle for this one is Frank Dirch of Germany.
Well, these two are no strangers to each other, as you can see. 5 times they've fought, and it's a 3-2 to Ungaranu. Who has been in the driving seat all the way. She's had a great performance here today, though. Very, very dangerous indeed. A beautiful, stylish athlete that has incredible long legs, long limbs that can throw at will. The Uchimata, the Ouchigari, and she has been disposing of most of her opponents. Figueroa, for me, has been a battler. She's got a crack at Uchimata in her own right, and she's hit some really good targets. With Masters in the 7th place in Cancun, she got a bronze medal, and in the World Championships last year was 7th place.
How do you think she's going to cope with the, like you were talking about Monica Ungaranu's physical presence? How do you think Figueroa is going to cope with that?
Well, the last time Figueroa she was the one that defeated her opponent. So she's obviously realized that there is a way of defeating her opponent, and she's done it already, and that was the last time they actually met, and that was at the World Masters. And so it has been some time, though. It's been able to control those sleeves. You see that left hand that goes high over in the collar. It draws their opponent down, and she becomes so dangerous, it's untrue. She has the Ouchimata, those long legs really are very, very powerful indeed. And it's been able to do your judo, but also controlling that left. That's what the Spaniard has got to concentrate, but without it detracting away from the judo that she's capable of doing herself. And as you see, there it goes. She's controlling the left. She's taking it with her. She'll use her feet. She's a little pocket rocket. She's a tiny wee thing. Another fancy little turn there as she pulls her arm through the belt, wraps it around. Uncomfortable as an execution, but very effective for a finishing turnover. It's like putting your hand in and twisting it and making the waist from a 23 to a 20. It is so uncomfortable. Grenu, as you can see, drawing down, but she has got her sleeve all hooked up there. The Spaniard's controlling it very nicely. Tactically, she's playing the right game, and to the frustration of the Romanian. All she wants is that left hand back. She gets it. She's dangerous.
Of the contest gone, no score as yet.
Oh, yeah, there's a battle there. But Figueroa is doing so well. She's come out with that tactics of controlling that left, and it really has been the most frustrating for the Romanian.
Just looked to attack there, did Figueroa a second ago with that left-sided Kosotogaki trying to hook in, but she was out so quickly. She must have felt that threat from Unguranu, so bailed from that attack.
That's there, you can see that left hand hovering around for the Romanian. You would feel for the Romanian that she would maybe lead with her right and then cross grip it and change the grips, like a sequence of movements, rather than going direct with that left. Go in with the right and then switch to the left. Getting contact first is more important than actually getting the final secured grip that she's going to use to throw.
Not happy with something.
Well, she's picked up a Shido, and that slightly changes the dynamics, and nor is the coach happy with that either. But that's the chance you take when you play a very tactical match here. And the tactical match is controlling that left sleeve, but it's controlling it and using it. That's the most important thing. You cannot just hold on to it and be negative in that approach. And that was a very poor drop there. She turned really to break the grip, and it wasn't an engagement of a throw. And she might pay with a penalty on this one.
Yeah, you're quite right. Unguranu picks up a penalty. So a penalty apiece with half a minute left to go.
Again, she's looking for that left. It's when she has two hands on the side, and that's where she picked up, I'm sure she picked up the penalty for, is that taking the left, she also has the hand close to the belt line to block the leg from coming through. Whoa, nice, Sianagi, Awazari, and 2 seconds that was. What a wonderful finish. She really unsettled the Romanian right from the beginning. She wasn't giving it her own way. The left hand was something that was plaguing her throughout, and Figueroa just controlled it so nicely. And then eventually, after all that frustration and building up, just hit her at the right time.
Yeah, Figueroa didn't look as though she was interested in getting involved in a golden score. Decided to launch an attack right at the death there, and with 2 or 3 seconds left to go, managed to catch Monica Unguranu and take the gold medal.
There you see it. She was really chasing it, looking to get that hand out of the way, but got herself all tied up and played straight on to that Tayatoshi.
Come now to the first of the bronze medal contests in the under 60 kilo category. Amiran Papinashvili of Georgia faces Ashley Mackenzie of Great Britain. It'll be Papinashvili in the white judogi, Mackenzie in blue. The referee in the middle for this one is Hyun Suk-hee of the Republic of Korea.
Well, they're in the world ranking. They're 3 to 14, and look at the head-to-heads. They've fought 5 times, and Papinashvili has won all 5. Will this be the day that Mackenzie gets the bit between the teeth and comes back and takes this win? A crucial time for him. He hasn't actually been on that podium this year. Last year had a great performance, but like we said, he's up against a very tough opponent. Twice world bronze medalist and European medals, 4 European Championship medals, and Olympic place, 5th place. So the list goes on for Papinashvili that shows the pedigree of this athlete from Georgia. But Mackenzie, he's got great skills, he's got a big heart. He just needs to stay focused up against a tough opponent. He's got all to gain, nothing to lose, so hopefully he'll go out fighting that way.
Those contests that Loretta was talking about, the 5 wins for Papinashvili, they've been over a period of 9 or 8.5 years. That's how long they've been battling against each other. Last time they went head-to-head was at the European Championships in Warsaw back in 2017.
Well, there's a Siotoshi there. Overstretched himself slightly, but 2 strong attacks, and a Shido now been awarded to Papinashvili, who's still yet to settle into this contest. Which is no big surprise, really, because it does take him a little bit of a time to warm up. He's not an athlete to rush things. Ashley Mackenzie on the other side, he just works on like a nervous energy. His pace is very fast, but sometimes he just loses the sort of spotting of his attacks and leaves himself a little bit vulnerable. And under an athlete like this, you cannot afford to put in any false attacks or any weak ones at all. Now, he will pick Shido up for that last attempt. I think he's trying that little bit too hard, and he really needs to start homing in on placing those techniques a little bit sharper and in much better positioning.
Well, it's not as though his opponent is unknown to him.
Yes.
He and his coach must have a plan by now of how to deal with Papinashvili.
Well, you would think so, but Papinashvili is such an amazing athlete, isn't he? And the biggest danger is he's got that Uchimata that is it's outstanding when he connects.
I thought the first minute was fine. You know, he'd managed the timing well. He'd put in the right number of attacks in it, and then all of a sudden, the attacks were nowhere near as threatening.
Yeah.
And I thought, if you're not careful, you're going to pick up a penalty for a false attack.
Yes,
and then all of a sudden, that advantage that you talk about when the first Shido goes on there, that disappeared.
Yeah.
You know, now we've got a situation where Papinashvili must look at the scoreboard. There's no score on the board. He's a danger man. He's the one with 5 wins in the win column, and it's a Shido apiece. Yes. The last Shido being the one that was, you know, it's the one that's the most unattractive of all the Shidos to give away, which is, I know I've got to do something, I'd better just try
throw
something.
anything in, and he can't afford to just throw anything in. He has to stay really strong and take his time. I don't know whether he's able to take his time. He's 100%, he's in 5th gear all the way. There isn't a first to build up, and for him it's all or nothing. Sometimes it's difficult when you fight that way against a tough opponent.
As Loretta's just said, Papinashvili had picked up the first penalty for falling behind the pace. He got a penalty for a passivity attack. You just needed to take that little bit of time and saying, well, if he's got one, and I slow down, and we both pick up one, it'll be 2-1.
Yes.
So let me just take a little bit of time here, and if I feel that he's not attacking, I'm going to put in an absolutely serious one, and he'll draw another penalty. There's a lot of tactics around here.
For
Missed
Ashley,
out there.
it's got to be tactical. Whoa!
Yeah, that was a better
It's got to
attack.
be, and he works him into the
Not
knee
finished,
waza,
not
and
finished.
and moving him over there, and Papanashvili working extremely hard to rescue himself under very difficult situation here. Well, that was lightning. And the thing is, with Mackenzie, hitting someone that accurate is going to be dangerous for Papanashvili. What he doesn't want to do is keep hitting him, because he gets tired. He's had that little bit of a pause. He's wrapped his fingers up. He's gave him a time to compose himself and get back into the swing of things. There is you see, that's the danger. Half-hearted Ouchigari left himself wide open. Did he need to do it? That's the question. Did he need to do it? He needs to just hit now and again, not all the time.
Again, Loretta's hit the nail on the head here. It can't be half. Either don't do it because you don't need to, or if you're going to go in, give everything. But you can't afford to give someone like Papanashvili the smallest of openings.
And that's a continuous
that may
move.
continue. Yeah.
That was Arias Seti upon that. Well, for Mackenzie, he will be desperately disappointed with that. Well, you've got to give him 10 out of 10 for trying. He really gave it all. He goes out there, it's all or nothing. But sometimes he's got to pace it. He's got to put it into gears. He's got to go first gear. If he wants to go out in fifth gear right at the beginning, the shock factor, the unstabling situation to his opponent, do it. But then slow it down, bring it back. Don't make himself predictable. What he is predictable. It's all or nothing, and he goes 100 miles an hour, and all his opponent needs to do is wait for the mistake. And that's what we had. He waited for the mistakes. He came in again. He didn't need to do that. He wasn't in the right position. He felt like he had to do something. Why? He's got to get out of that mindset. And Papanashvili just played a real cautious game. He closed it up. He controlled the upper part of the body quite nicely. And what a counter.
Number 3 in the world is Amiran Papanashvili. He came in here as the number 1 seed today. Hasn't quite lived up to the seeding. However, he will be on the podium, albeit that he'll be walking away with a bronze medal.
A very consistent athlete. That's what you can say, really.
Sure about the continuation on the first look, but there's absolutely no doubt about it. On the first of the replays there, you get to see the intention and the follow-through and the continuation. We come now to the second of the bronze medal contest in the under 60 kilo category. Yanislav Gershev of Bulgaria faces Yuri Verstraeten of Belgium. It's Gershev in the white judogi, Verstraeten in blue. The referee in the middle for this one is Friedrich Anna-Maria of Hungary.
Well, when you look at the statistics here, it's head-to-head, one apiece. And when you look at all the others, they're very, very close. They're only points away from each other in the world ranking. So this will be a very interesting match indeed. One that has been looking on form right from the beginning of this year and the latter part of last year is Verstraeten, where he won Tel Aviv. He was 7th in The Hague, and he was junior European silver medalist back in 2017. His opponent, Gershev, 7th in Tel Aviv this year, but 2nd in the European Championships last year. So definitely a strong opponent that he'll be up against.
It's not I suppose the nicest of things to say when we talk in terms of someone not being quite the finished article. I don't mean that to be in any way derogatory, because Verstraeten is on the way up,
Yes.
and he's a dangerous young fighter. I just don't think that he's
Ooh.
the finished article.
No,
as
he
yet.
isn't. He isn't the finished article. There's a lot to gain, a lot of experience and exposure at this world level, and but what he is doing is hitting some targets at a very young age and building up that confidence. And when someone's got the ability at such a young age, confidence and exposure is what comes very quickly, and you start seeing him going up the ranks and then taking those medals. And that's what we've seen with Verstraeten, that he has been picking up the medals, but he's been hovering around for such a long time on those placing positions as well.
He got thrown earlier on, didn't he?
Oh, he
Jori
got-
Verstraeten.
He got buried, absolutely buried.
That's what's put him in that bronze medal contest now.
Yes.
He's in the semi-final against Artem Lesiuk.
Yeah, Lesiuk just opened up the mat and buried him underneath it. I think he actually thought it was a Wazari, didn't he not? Or no score. Well, a minute gone in this contest, and it's still very, very close. Gerchev with one Shido already. A bit early to be starting to accumulate them. It was a dangerous thing when you start getting those within the first minute of a contest. Time is on your side, but when it comes to... Whoa, what a lovely counter there. Gerchev just waited for Verstraeten just to come in, and it was a soft attack. He looked for that Koshiguruma. He placed the head nicely across the back of the shoulders, but he never connected deep enough. Never broke his opponent's balance, and hence the reason finds him now down on a Wazari.
Well, he's got half the contest left.
Well, it's definitely plenty of time, but he's
Gerchev
now
looks dangerous.
he's changing. He's chasing the match now, which makes it a much more open. Gerchev can be a little bit more relaxed and move, and when he's able to move in a much more relaxed fashion, he becomes even more dangerous. That's the thing.
Not sure why he was going over on that side for that Simigeshi. It wasn't there with the first bite. It wasn't
No.
going to get better by, sitting down further, so he should have just left that. Verstraeten wanted to be up and out of there anyway, so...
Well, for Verstraeten, his technique isn't really so much the Koshiguruma, it's the Ippon Seoinage, so he tends to come under his opponent's centre of balance, rather than coming over, powering his opponent, which is a really different dynamics to what he normally does. And so it was a sort of maybe under pressure slightly that he put in that attack, which landed him on his side there for a Wazari. Gerchev looking to transition past those defensive legs at the moment. He pounces, but also what we're looking at is a tactical ploy as well. Get him down in the ground, you tick away on the clock, and now the clock's starting to go against Verstraeten. He really needs to now start piling on the pressure and start trying to fight and win this match in this last minute. If it goes past the next half a minute, then he really hasn't got a chance.
Yeah, he's been frustrated out of this last minute and a half, has the Belgian. Just can't get both hands on Gerchev. Gerchev's, almost like that boxer who's bobbing and weaving and using the mat area.
Looking busy doing nothing.
Yeah, breaking off the grips, changing things up.
And he can afford to pick up. He's in the last 30 seconds now of the contest. He's got one Shido. He will pick up a Shido now. Now, what he's got to be careful of is that he can't afford to make a mistake.
Well, this is where we saw...
Well, this is the danger. This is where Verstraeten should get up on his feet. He's playing into his game. He's drawing him in. Bulgarian really just wants him down on the ground.
This is where we saw Cho Guam recently put in 6-7 attacks.
Yes, yeah. You just
Because
go,
his opponent
"Wait."
had 2. You thought,
Yeah.
well, hang on, 30 seconds is long enough to get him a Shido here. The referee saw through that one.
Yeah.
Verstraeten hasn't got quite the same attacking prowess as Cho Guam. And has not managed one. Poor fellow.
Well, there was a lot of effort put in at the last stage of that contest, but it wasn't meant to be for Verstraeten. A good performance, though, in general throughout the day.
Yeah, 5th place at the Grand Prix is a good effort from Verstraeten. It's Gershev, however, who ends up taking 2nd of the bronze medals.
Well, great performance for Gershev there. He'll be pleased with that and the points that go with it.
Well, we will throughout be talking about points and mentioning points because that's what the fighters are looking for. They're desperate to collect as many points as possible to make the process of qualification that much easier. So if we bang on about it, we're sorry, but that is really what they're about.
Well, for a lot of the athletes, the ultimate is getting to the games, isn't it? And the only way, unless you're the hosting country, the only way you're getting it is through the world ranking. And you're a continental. Oh, look at that face.
We come now to the final of the under 60 kilo category. Artem Lesyuk of Ukraine faces Sharafuddin Lutfilayev of Uzbekistan. It's Lesyuk in the white judo gi, Lutfilayev in blue, and the referee in the middle for this one is Oliver de Roses of France.
Well, this will be a very interesting. Lesyuk for me has been amazing. Ipon Sianagi's great techniques, and but look, the Uchimata, superb. 2 very big throwers. The Ukraine 5th in the European Championships and the under 23 European Championships, of bronze medal back in 2017. The last. Grand Prix final, first one for him, well, not bad.
And he's had quite a tough job in getting here. He had to get past Maurice Plafke of Germany in round 1, Ali Khusrov of Yemen, he was a tidy little player in round 2, Amiram Papinashvili, the world number 3 and the number 1 seed here in the semi-final, and then in the quarter-final, and then in the semi-final, Yuri Verstraeten. So he's had a bit of a day, hasn't he, so far, and now in the final, Sharafuddin Lutfilayev.
Well, Lutfilayev, well, he's got, 6 Grand Slam medals, 11 Grand Prix medals under his belt. So
there are 2 things that can happen with Lutfilayev in a contest. He will throw, or he will be thrown.
Yeah, one or the other. He's so open. He's exciting to watch.
Yeah. Someone's going to go.
But someone is really going to go, hopefully, big, because it's always exciting to see a big throw, but which one will it be?
We're watching a training camp with Lutfilayev and Adonis Diaz from the United States of America, who is equally
he's a
open.
Big thrower. He's so open and dynamic,
and
isn't
the
he?
2 of them were just bashing each other.
Brilliant.
And they didn't mind going over if it meant that they could throw the other one. Oh, here we go. Not quite.
So the attempt there just really had to overstretch himself there, and a lot of defence going on. Strong defencing.
He's almost on top of him when De Roses calls Hajime. He was in his face, wasn't he?
Yeah, he goes into his personal space, doesn't he? He's got that high collar grip. He draws his opponent's head down and down to the ground where he follows through into the Lima zone. As you can see, he's cutting very deep there. He nearly had his arm up his back at one stage.
Oh dear, Lesiuk has picked up a penalty for a false attack. Unfortunate.
Oh, Uchimata there. Oh, that's very strong, that Uchimata. If he does get it connected, it's a big throw. First time we've really seen it at this moment. Oh, there it is again. That's a big threat. It's like, here I come. Watch out. Oh, Koichigari Uchimata. Oh, nice combination.
Lesiuk's in danger of picking up a third penalty here. It's unfortunate because they're both big throwers, but
yeah,
he's just off the pace, isn't he?
He's just not getting a look in at all, is he? Oh, it was just his nugget that just stopped that. Oh.
Got to go now, Lesiuk. Minute and a half. Plenty of time left on the clock.
Oh, but Lesiuk really can't get past those strong gripping skills. He's all over the place, stumbling around there. He's like a wee Bambi trying to get back up onto his feet, isn't he? He's all over the place. It just doesn't look settled on his feet at all. Look at the power.
Poor Lesiuk has done all the hard work in defeating the people that we've said earlier on, and now he's come up against Lutfilayev in the final.
Lutfilayev is looking on form though, isn't he? He's spot on in this contest.
Non-stop.
He has dominated. He's taken real control right from the beginning. Oh, lovely Koichigari, but could he steal it right at the end? Well, we've seen it happen. He's got the grip. Sutemi was her attempt.
There's two little things to keep him in
Two
it.
very strong attacks there, both times stumbling his opponent. One to the front, one to the rear. It's two very different directions, making him a real threat here. The Kosota opening up. Is he looking for that? Uchimata basing it on the... Well, he got himself out of trouble there.
He was backed up on the competition area, wasn't he?
Came in with a Cianagi, but just slipped in that Koichi as well, just as a double whammy, just in case they didn't like the Cianagi attempt. Well, it's a real balance at this moment. You've got two Shidos to one, and the table has turned slightly here. Ukraine, he walks on to the Uchimata, but again, he's got to be sharper. He's got to get in first. He just seems to be pipped to the post too many times, and riding these Uchimatas we've seen quite a few times now. The Ashiwazas. Lesiuk uses his feet a little bit more. Just changed. Now for me, I just think for the Ukraine, if he changes his tactics now and works with his feet, there was a couple of times he had him stumbling with the Koichigari, the Kosota, and that could be somewhere, it's like the Achilles heel to his opponent. It's the weakest point in this match that you could see the Uzbek, going over, but not this time. What a lovely finish. Well, definitely had to work for that, but what a match.
Well, as I said at the beginning, one of them was going to go over. There were a couple of occasions when Lesiuk looked as though he might surprise us, to be honest, because for most of the contest, it looked like Lutfilayev was going to throw Lesiuk.
Yes.
Just took him into the golden score period there, and after 13 seconds, I don't know, just something said, I've got to go, I've got to go.
Got to throw this one and let's get this done and dusted.
And good news for Lutfilayev is that he looked as though the 4 minutes hadn't taken that much out of him.
He still looks really fresh, look.
Yeah.
And he's able to give the sort of appreciation there to the crowd.
There you go. Sharafudin Lutfilayev of Uzbekistan takes the gold medal in the under 60 kilo category. Right, we'll be back shortly with the medal presentation for the women in the under 48 kilo category. That's coming up next.
You can see here highlights of this one on the screen. Ladies and gentlemen, the awarding ceremony of women's under 48 kilo category.
Come now to the awarding ceremony for the women in the under 48 kilo category. The medals are going to be presented by the president of the International Judo Federation, Mr. Marius Visa.
Mr. Marius Visa. Bronze medalists are for Germany.
The first of the bronze medals goes to Katharina Metz of Germany. Bronze medal too for Melanie Clement of France. Silver medal goes to Monica Ungareanu of Romania. The gold medal goes to Julia Figueroa of Spain.
Ladies and gentlemen, now please stand for the national anthem of Spain.
Mesdames et messieurs, veuillez vous lever, s'il vous plaît, pour l'hymne national d'Espagne.
And now the national anthem of Spain.
Thank you very much. We now invite our devotees of the family picture to be medalists.
Merci beaucoup.
For a picture of the winning medalists with the VIP guests, and then one with just the athletes. Men's Clement were the bronze medalists. Ungareanu took the silver. It was Figueroa to take the gold medal. We come now to the first of the bronze medal contests in the under 52 kilo category. Tatiana Cesar of Guinea-Bissau faces Estrella Lopez Sheriff of Spain. It'll be Cesar in the white judogi, Lopez Sheriff in blue.
Well, as you look at the statistics there, a little bit further down the world ranking, 106 to 36. Well, as we always say, there's a lot more to it than meets the eye. Sometimes a change of weight categories will reflect on that, a move up or a move down, so but never can be underestimated.
The referee in the middle for this one is Vladimir Nutsubidze of Georgia. And Loretta was just talking there about a move up or a move down, and Tatiana Cesar is an athlete who's moved up from 48 to 52.
Well, Cesar, 4 times African champion. Her opponent,
Real handful. Real handful.
She's definitely a strong athlete. Lopez Sheriff. Last time I saw her was in Glasgow. She took a silver medal in the European Open there. It was very impressive.
Who beat her there then, I wonder? Because
52s.
in the European Open, that's a really useful fighter at that kind of level. You expect them to
be able
take
to.
it.
Well, Pavia only she was also fighting last year in the Glasgow Open and got beat in the final.
Yeah, I can kind of expect some on the way back, because after the baby and everything, so maybe took a while. Yeah, I just got a feeling that Lopez Sheriff is going to be one of those fighters that's going to stick around for a while and be quite difficult to get past.
Well, she did extremely well last year, where she picked up a bronze medal in the Düsseldorf Grand Slam, and in The Hague 2017 was also a silver medalist. So this is someone that has always been around medal and placing, so you can't really underestimate her at all.
She's in a real battle with her own teammate, Ana Perez Box, who's up there in the top 20 in the world.
Who is also in the final of this competition.
And there's Nina Estefana Estolina of Spain at 37.
Well, we've had some quality athletes in this weight catch. We've had Olympic champion back in Barcelona '92 with Muniz, who won the gold medal in the under 52 kilos. And then that followed by Miriam Blasco. Cesar going to throw that arm over the top, and tactically Lopez Sherif controls the sleeves. A very tactical ploy to frustrate the life out of her opponent on the edge of the contest area, as you can see, piling the pressure on.
It's a tricky situation for Lopez Sheriff. Would be absolutely delighted if she could take a medal here, keep the pressure up on her teammate. They're a good way away from each other, and the likelihood is that Ana Perez Box I'm talking about, she's up there at number 17, is likely to get further away because she's in the final. Oh well.
What a finish there. Lopez Sherif takes the bronze medal. And she looks pretty relieved about that, and
did what she had to do here.
Yeah.
Winner and bronze medalist in the women's under 52 kilo category.
Victorieuse de la 20e médaille de bronze dans la catégorie de moins de 52 kg.
In blue judogi from Spain, Estrella Lopez Sherry.
Job done.
See here highlights of this bronze medal contest on the screen.
Oh.
Really nice
Beautiful
footwork
sasa.
there, yeah.
Nice combination of finishing on Sasai Subirakaneyashi. Beautifully done.
Tatiana Cesar on the receiving end of that one, unfortunately for her. Okay, we come now to the second of the bronze medal contests. In the under 52 kilo category, Nathalie Rouvière of Germany faces Gafen Primo of Israel. It'll be Rouvière in the white judogi, Primo in blue. The referee in the middle for this one is Ioana Babiuk of Romania.
Well, definitely going to be an interesting match, and for me, Primo is an athlete to keep your eye on because she is really hitting some targets and at such a young age as well. What a great potential for Israel this young lady is. European bronze medalist in Agadir last year, a bronze, but this year already 5th in Tel Aviv. But add to all that, as a junior world silver medalist and also senior world championships last year, was 7th place, and still a junior, or possibly just coming out of juniors now. Rouvière of Germany. Well, this is the young lady we saw in Glasgow, silver medalist.
Well, her hands tied up here. Primo couldn't do anything.
She was attempting what looked to be a possible sodi, or taking both sleeves and going for the osotogari.
Yeah, I think the latter was more
The angle.
in mind, but
I wasn't sure whether
yeah.
she would twist the hips and turn it to the Sianagi.
I think you were right with the Osoda. She's shaping in that
She's
direction,
got
but just
such long
didn't
limbs
feel
as
it.
well.
Yeah.
She's got that high collar grip, which is always making her dangerous. She's controlling that sleeve.
Nice footwork.
Beautiful change of direction as well. Wazari on the board now. Primo takes the lead, but still 3 minutes, but still working in the Niwaza, trying desperate to get that leg out.
It was second thought. It wasn't extinct.
No,
it wasn't
wasn't sharp
instinctive.
enough,
Yeah, she missed that. That delay just gives Rouvière the chance to tidy up and hook the leg, and the opportunity is missed. I know that's very, very critical, but makes a difference between them being on the mat still and the referee signalling Wazari Awazetti punishing to be able
Oh
to secure
yes,
it.
Ipon. Osotogari. She clipped the heel, beautifully executed. What a nice finish. She made that contest look very, very easy.
She wasn't hanging around, was she, Gafen Primo? Well, she'll feel good about that as well, will Gafen Primo. That'll help to keep her up in the top 20 in the world ranking list. And with that, she's on the podium for the first time this year. Had a really busy year last year, 2018.
Oh, she had an amazing year last year, didn't she? Just missed out in Tel Aviv. It's got 7th place in Tel Aviv, so just missed out on a medal there.
Yeah, if you medal 4 times on the world tour in a year, then that's good. It really doesn't matter whether you've been out there 5, 6, or 7 times. You pick up 4 medals, that's good. I mean, people like Clarice Agbegni who can go and fight 5 times or 6 times and be on the podium 5 or 6 times, but not everyone's that quality. Anyway, we come now to the final of the under 52 kilo category. Amandine Bouchard-Nordmeyer of France faces Ana Perez Box of Spain. It'll be Bouchard-Nordmeyer in the white judogi, Perez Box in blue, and the referee in the middle for this one is Everardo Garcia of Mexico.
Well, I wouldn't like to say that this could be pretty an uneven match, but based on performance, my goodness me, Bouchard-Nordmeyer really hasn't been challenged at all, I don't think. And just seems to ooze so much confidence, strong looking feature as she comes through onto this mat. Perez Box, though, she has had some good results under her belt. She got 7th in Masters, a 3rd in Tashkent, and also in Cancun. She won there where she was outstanding. But for Bouchard-Nordmeyer, she has been really strong and a consistent athlete for many, many years, going back to 48 kilos, and has made that transition into 52s effortlessly.
A first ever meeting between Bouchard-Nordmeyer and Perez Box. Let's see how this one unfolds.
Straight away she's in there, strong gripping skills, has unsettled Perez Box quite considerably in that first exchange.
Well, the Spanish fighter will have seen her teammate just take a bronze medal.
Yes.
So
extra pressure as well,
there's
isn't
that
it?
a little bit, just not really breathing down her neck, but you know, thinking,
She could possibly be in side by side with her on
yeah,
that podium.
have I got this sewn up yet or not? Different countries have different ways of sorting out when they've got more than one athlete qualified. Sometimes it's just a straight head-to-head. Whoever is highest gets the spot. And at other times, if both athletes are qualified, then they say we hand it to the National Olympic Committee.
Yes, and
we
let
do
them deal with
report,
it,
let them
yeah.
deal with it, and then or sometimes it's down to the National Federation, which can get quite contentious at times.
We've heard about that on many occasions, haven't we? But also the factors when you're coming into an Olympics or an event like that, or in World Championships, it's not who you can beat on your home soil, it's who you can defeat on the world tour,
Yeah,
on the
I've
world
always
circuit.
tried to put that across to people. Don't worry about, you know, the domestic
We have with
market.
the Canadians,
Yeah,
don't we?
absolutely.
We've seen those athletes go head to head for such a long time, and instead of looking over the shoulder at their opponent in the same team, it's really who's facing you from the opposition. And
Too many weapons, like you said, Loretta.
she's just been unbeatable here today. She is so strong looking.
Yeah, and I said that earlier on as well about the her being strong, and then I tried to clarify it, because it's not a physical overpowering strength. It's just that the techniques that she employs, there doesn't appear to be any getting off it.
No.
Once she sat in there and started that, it just looked as though, you know, Perez Box was never going to get off it, and she didn't get powered over, because it was a clean execution of the
That's
technique.
it.
All day she's done that.
It all comes together, the speed, the power, the connection. That was the connection, it was the speed of that connection, and it was the physical power to finish it off that was superb.
Yeah, Bouchard-Nordmeyer's technical expertise today has been on show, and she's just been so good at putting people away that I think, you know, Loretta Cusack-Doyle, when she said she's been unstoppable today, was absolutely spot on.
She's been good, really exciting to watch.
Right, we come to the awarding ceremony for the men in the under 60 kilo category. The medals are being presented by IJF Sport Director, Mr. Armen Bagdasarov. The first of the bronze medals goes to Yanislav Gershev of Bulgaria. It's a bronze medal also for Amiran Papinashvili of Georgia. Silver medal goes to Artem Lesiuk of Ukraine. And the gold medal goes to Sharafuddin Lutfilayev of Uzbekistan. He's a really happy guy. Whenever you chat to him, he's got such a nice way about him, Lutfilayev. Hard, really hard guy, but a gentle air about him. There's something gentle about him. Not his fighting, though. I suppose that's why Adonis Diaz enjoyed the practice with him, because he's hard but fair. He's not going to hurt you deliberately or rough you up. Very nice way about it. Right, now the national anthem of Uzbekistan.
Thank you very much.
Merci beaucoup pour vos applaudissements.
We will invite now our VIPs for the family picture and medalists.
That's the winning quartet. Shev and Pavinashvili. The silver went to Lesiuk, and it was Lutfilayev who walked away with the gold medal. Okay, we've got the first of the bronze medal contests coming up now in the under 66 kilo category. Shakram Akhadov of Uzbekistan faces Yerlan Serekjanov of Kazakhstan. It's Akhadov in the white judo. In the white judogi, Zerekjanov in blue. The referee in the middle for this one is Mariana dos Santos of Brazil. Here's Loretta.
Right, thank you, Sheldon. Well, there's been no head-to-head between these athletes, but there's been some great performances here, watched by both the athletes at time. But you have the Kazakhstan world silver medalist, and in Abu Dhabi last year, silver, and in Agadir also a silver. Very, very strong athlete. Novov really did extremely well throughout the day, looking so strong in the first opening rounds of this competition.
Showing some signs of wear and tear there on the left cheek. Sporting a plaster is Akhadov. Surprised that stayed on, that plaster, with the perspiration and the contact. They normally go pretty quickly. And it's a really nasty place to pick up a cut there. The worst place would be just above the eye. Almost impossible to put a plaster on that without then losing some degree of vision. But anyway, he's there.
Oh, great opening for Shokizanov. Uchimata. Seen that a few times today. from the Kazakhstan. Akadov reaching for that sleeve grip, really can't get it, has been unsettling for him in the opening first minute, and picks up his first Shido.
Shaping for the hip technique there, wasn't he? He just gave a little look, put the hand up, thought, not yet. Wait for it. He's an exciting looking fighter, Serekjanov, but he's gotten involved in playing,
patter cake,
Not going to help either of them.
Yeah.
In particular, Akadov, who's picked up his second penalty.
And still 2.5 minutes remaining. Sokizanov there. High collar grip, drawing down on the head, drawing the arm across the chest, bearing down all his power that he can to make his opponent look quite passive. Coming in with the Ouchigari, stumbling to the rear. A nice entry there for the Kazakhstan. Oh, Taitoshi stepping across. Oh, no, Morote comes through with the elbow there.
He hasn't had the best of times since losing to Abe Hihime of Japan in the final of the World Championships last year. He lost in the next final that he appeared in, that was in the Grand Slam in Abu Dhabi. And he wasn't on the podium again, or he hasn't been around the podium until now. He leads here by Wazari with a little over a minute left to go.
And in for a Sodi attempt there.
It'll make him really happy if he can take a medal here, give him that winning feeling again.
Well, I think Akadov there will pick up the third and final Shido in this contest, because he really hasn't put in any attacks there. There was a couple of movements from the Kazakhstan, but for the Uzbek, he really hasn't done very much. And there you have it, the third and final Shido and a hand Sokumaki awarded.
A bit of frustration, but it's not one, it's not two, it's three, so it's not as though you can say, oh, I didn't see that one coming. You had to know the state of the contest, and unfortunately for him, he picked up the third penalty. Yelan Serekjanov picks up a bronze medal, and as I said, yeah, he'll be happy with that, won't he? Back on the podium.
Ladies and gentlemen, see here the highlights of this multiple contest on the screen.
Well, there you have it, a lovely finish there. Taitoshi that he stepped across with, and it almost was the Seotoshi. The knee was going down, but it didn't just hit the mat. So definitely a powerful technique. So I think the next one possibly won't happen. With Ranov, didn't he pull out?
Yeah, indeed. The under 66 kilo category, a bronze medal contest between Sebastian Seidel of Germany and Beslan Mudranov of Russia, that's coming up next, isn't going to take place because Beslan Mudranov had an injury in a previous round. He didn't take part in the semi-final, so He came down into the bronze medal contest, and unfortunately for the referee in the middle, Melinda Bowman of the United States of America, first time refereeing in a Grand Prix, she gets a medal contest. It's all done by computer, and unfortunately for her, the opponent pulls out, so there's no fight. However, there is no complaint from Sebastian Seidel. He rather liked the idea of getting the guaranteed
He looks very
medal.
fresh out there, and he had his hair combed.
Yeah, realizing also that his opponent was the current Olympic champion of the under 60 kilo category. That didn't have to happen.
No.
Right, this one will take place. However, it's Sardar Nuraliyev of Uzbekistan. He's up against Mohammed Abdelmagoud of Egypt, who I mistakenly told Loretta Kusak-Doyle earlier on wasn't going to take part. That's something I'll have to apologise to her for later on. Nuraliyev in the white judogi, Abdelmagoud in blue, the referee in the middle. But this one is Amano Akiko of Japan. Now, in the lead up to the contest, I had mistakenly told Loretta Kusak-Doyle that this particular Egyptian wasn't in the final.
I'm
there
just
was
too
another
trusting,
one.
aren't I
know,
with you?
and you did, and I'm just too stupid to have done my homework. So I gave you bad information, I'm afraid.
I thought I was just having a senior moment at that time, especially when I watched it, and I still wasn't convinced.
However, I am honest enough to admit to the mistake. What was it that? Why did I get that wrong then? Abdelmagoud did lose out to Madranov, didn't he? Yeah, Madranov, that was right.
Yes.
So that must have put him down in the repechage contest. And for some reason, this was the one that I thought that
I
he'd
think it was
lost. Yeah, he won.
Abel Rahman. Maybe that was the one you were thinking.
Abdel Rahman, yeah, and this is Abdelmagoud, yeah, and it
That's
was
it.
Abdel Rahman who was lost, not Abdelmagoud, yeah.
That's
how it was.
Uchimata.
Oh,
Oh,
that was huge.
That
Great
was a
lift there,
really big technique. No upper body control though. Needed that sleeve grip to be pulling out and through again to finish the little turn at the end, what you're looking for.
Got him
But
there, though.
that's a nice little turn and scoring Wazari.
With the Seotoshi, it appears to be a popular technique here.
Oh yes, nice there.
This one he does go right down, doesn't he?
Well, Uzbekistan doing extremely well there with the Wazari now on the scoreboard. Still 3 minutes to go in this contest. And when you're up by a Wazari, it seems a lifetime out there, especially when you've got to stay fully engaged in this contest. Now looking for the Niwaza.
Chance here.
Oh, yes, the hips went through. He just managed to get off there and no more. Abdelmagoud really just could see it all flashing away from him.
He got himself in a bad position
Oh,
there.
yeah, took a flying lesson there.
Lucky the landing didn't finish him off.
See that?
nice effort,
Oh,
yeah.
that was deep. That was nice and deep. Just didn't have that little bump up at the end that he needed.
Still got half the contest to come.
Oh, Koji. So close.
Nice entry.
There's been 3 strong attacks there. So close to scoring each time. Just marginally
Oh, he's going to
out.
get him there.
Yep, well, working on the arm.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah, Nuraliyev.
Nuraliyev
Caught him
did
there.
extremely well there on that last exchange. That was very interesting, but exciting as well, which was really important.
Sardar Nuraliyev of Uzbekistan takes the gold medal in the under 66 kilo category. Both gold medals go into Uzbekistan then, the lightweight.
Doing well today.
Let's have a look at the highlights, and then we're back with the awarding ceremony for the women in the under 52 kilo category.
Nice Koichi Gaki there, he just got out. Was one escape. How deep was that? And the cat-like reactions as he spun out of that. Uchimata just again losing that little bit of control as he lifted him so high. Lost the sleeve grip. That Tayatoshi into the Makukami was what was finishing it all off. Well, there was so much action in this contest.
Ladies and gentlemen, the awarding ceremony of women's under 52 kilogram category.
We come now to the awarding ceremony for the women in the under 52 kilo category. The medals are being presented by the International Judo Federation Head Refereeing Director, Mr. Juan Carlos Barcos. The first of the bronze medals goes to Geffen Primo of Israel. Bronze medal for Estrella Lopez Sheriff of Spain. The silver medal goes to Ana Perez Box of Spain. The gold medal goes to Amandine Bouchard-Nordmeyer of France.
The prize of flowers will be presented by the Vice President of the Morocco Judo Federation.
Fifth Grand Prix gold medal for Bouchard-Nordmeyer. She holds a hand up and shows all fingers in her thumb. And now the national anthem of France.
Thank you very much.
It's difficult to think of someone who has been more commanding today than Amandine Bouchard-Nordmeyer. She really has shown excellent technique all day.
Oh, she's been world class, hasn't she?
Supremely focused, yeah. And that was a special performance.
Before we see the next contest, we warmly invite you to stay
Right, we come now to the first of the bronze medal contests in the under 57 kilo category. Timna Nelson Levy of Israel faces Auton Pavia of France. It'll be Nelson Levy in the white judogi, Pavia in blue. Here is Loretta Cusack.
Well, you look at the world ranking, Nelson Levy, world rank number 10, and Pavia 45. But Pavia has been out for some time having a baby and has come back very, very strong. And a world-class athlete in her own right, with placing at the Olympic Games. And since then, coming back, a 7th in Paris, and a bronze medal at the Olympic Games in 2012, along with being a current European champion a European champion in 2016. So it shows the sort of pedigree of this athlete that we're looking at right now.
The referee in the middle for this one is Vyacheslav Peretyeko of Uzbekistan.
Nelson Levy, world rank number 10, as I said, but started the year very well with a gold medal in Tel Aviv, and really has put a strong mark on her performance throughout the beginning of this year.
This is such an important contest for Auton Pavia. She languishes behind two of her teammates who had that head start because she's taken time out to go and have, to start a family. Now that she's back and she's up there competing, she needs every single point that she can get to close the gap.
Yeah, this is a really important match for her.
On Helene Rosovo.
Yes.
And Priscilla Neto, who was also a bronze medalist at the Olympic Games in London, but in the weight category below, she's moved up to 57. So there's the problem for her.
She's left herself a little bit vulnerable there. As you can see, the shoulder wrenched back. Powerless to do anything there, just lucky at the edge of the contest area, but still piling a lot of pressure on. Well, you had Rishoni that was in the in for a bronze medal, but sadly missed out at the last hurdle, but still pushes forward in placings from the Israeli team.
Timna Nelson Levy was a little bit higher up in the world rankings previously. She's down now at number 10.
Yes.
But Pavia, having been out for quite some time.
Well, since really the Olympic Games, hasn't she? And she came back strong last year. Did she really start making her debut last year?
She's
first time I saw her was in Glasgow. She battles away, but again left herself a little bit vulnerable there. Nelson Levy trying to capitalise on it, but as you can see, working on that arm.
She had a few goes last year. After Glasgow, when she came back. 2018 was the comeback, but after Glasgow she went to the Grand Slam in Abu Dhabi, and the Grand Slam in Osaka, and the Grand Slam in Paris. So she's had some big outings. Second time today with the Ashiwaza.
Beautifully done there.
Really had Nelson Levy up there, just couldn't come up with the finish.
She didn't have that. She didn't have that sleeve. She didn't have control of that arm to be able to turn her onto her back. Sota, she crossed her own right at the edge of the contest area.
That was close.
Close. Still no score, but 2 Shidos apiece. 1 minute 24 seconds in it.
Almost got
Pavia-
ambushed there.
Pavia looking she's looking very defensive. Well, she was very lucky there. There was a lot of pressure on her at the edge of the contest area. Head was down. She was using her arm to push the hips away. Looked very negative. They've given her the benefit of the doubt on that one. But Nelson Levy piling on the pressure here as she comes through. Almost caught her with the Uchimata.
Again. Really has come as close to scoring as you could hope.
Well, the one that's been closest to scoring has been Pavia.
Yep, twice
She
now.
was at the Uchimata.
Just over the
Yeah.
edge, yeah.
But if Nelson Levy continues, she's got the condition to really pile on the pressure in the golden score. Oh, Sodagari! Oh, yes!
Can't get off that one.
There's no getting off there. And yes, the fists come up and the delight in her face. That is,
Well, I'm not sure why she's done that. We've got half a minute left to go.
yeah.
40 seconds
I
was great,
cannot
but
see her getting her back. Can you? But
well,
saying
she's
that,
picked up 2 penalties.
she's got 2 penalties. She has to keep engaging with that. Possibly she thought it was Ippon. It was close. There was no doubt about it. It was a very close call.
Only one person can tell you when it's Ippon.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, she didn't pay attention to him. Stood 2 meters away from him. He must have. He never said
Yes,
Ippon. It was
that's it.
Wazari.
He called it
Mhm.
Wazari.
Can't afford to backpedal here.
Oh, yes!
Off you go.
Oh,
And that
what
is
a
Ippon.
throw! Hey, goodness me. What a comeback from there.
Absolutely.
Oh, crikey. Oh, that is just so good. Turn around on that one. Whoa.
Well, what that tells you is that Pavia is not as sharp as she
Exactly.
could be.
Yes,
That's
it's
all.
just all it's down is sharpness.
Two things. She makes a schoolgirl error in getting up when there's 40 seconds left on the clock, and she then gives up the not gives away, but she gets caught in that last last period. And what do we say when you throw in the 40 seconds? And they were in Newaza. She could have gone into Newaza to finish that off.
Yes.
Instead, she's not thinking. She gets back up and ends up getting thrown.
She comes in with that high collar, she turns the hip, and for whatever reason, she turns back square, which is putting her straight in a position for the Kosotoge. Spanks her. It wasn't just off to the side, she actually went full body, square on. There was no escaping that.
And another thing that this tells me is that Hélène Rossovaux and Priscilla Neto, who are above her in the French team, they're in trouble. Because she's not finished yet.
No, you
Autumn Pavia's not
You
finished.
cannot write her off. She's got a lot of experience under her belt. She's come back from having a baby, and she's coming back. Each time we see her, she gets better and better. Her confidence is starting to come back, so we'll be seeing her a lot more.
We come now to the second of the bronze medal contest in the under 57 kilo category. Karakash Hedvig of Hungary faces Safo Choban of Germany. It's Karakash in the white judogi, Choban in blue. The referee in the middle for this one is Veli-Matti Karankanta of Finland. And just very, very quickly, a note on Safo Choban of Germany. She pronounces the name Koban.
Yes.
So Choban is the Turkish pronunciation, and it's a Turkish name. So I think we're going to go with the way that she likes it said, which is Koban,
Koban
because
is the
that's
way
what
she-
she's accustomed to, and that's what everyone says in Germany. So
Yes.
we'll go with that, shall we?
Yeah. Well, she's had a great performance, Koban. And what was so impressive is in Dusseldorf a couple of weeks ago, she was 7th place. But what a performance that young lady gave. And left a real impression in my mind that she was someone to really keep an eye on. very, very strong. But Caracas of Hungary in Tel Aviv at the beginning of the year was 5th place. Last year was quite an impressive year for her. In Budapest, a 3rd, and in Zagreb, a bronze medal, and the European Championships, 7th place. So she was very consistent last year in her performances and was always amongst either on the podium or just short of getting to that podium.
Caracas Hedvig is number 15 on the world ranking list. This is 2019 we're talking about. She was a bronze medalist at the World Championships 10 years ago in Rotterdam.
She's had a long
she's been
career, hasn't she? She's been here for a long time.
Around, yeah.
But I think with Koban, she's a youngish athlete that's starting to come through quite nicely now, isn't she? Each time we see her, she just seems to get a little bit stronger. Confidence grows so much more, and she's getting experience of fighting at this level of competition.
One of the strongest weight categories for women, 57s. And look at that list there. It's going to be
Oh, when you look down, what Yoshida,
Jakova, Dortzer,
Jakova,
Klimke and Deguchi.
Oh, tell
Smith
me about.
Davis,
And then
Silva, Stoll, Tamooki, Nelson Livy, we've just seen. Roper was here earlier.
well, when you're
Kwan,
talking
Lien
about
Chenling.
all them, right down to number 9. Then it starts with Nelson Livy, who's won here.
Yeah.
So the top 10 seed is here. 1 to 10, 1 to 9 isn't. So we're missing quite a few of the top seeds, which is a great opportunity for some of these athletes to make their mark here and their presence known. And it gives them an opportunity to maybe steal places on the podium, which has normally been dominated by the top 9. A bit of a head-to-head going on here. Nice Uchigari from Coburn.
Couldn't follow it up.
Yeah, she just there on the edge of the contest area. I think it was an opportunity just to pile the pressure to get a reaction rather than try and get a score on that. I don't think she wanted to really overextend herself there, not with the grip that her opponent Caracas has. As you can see, that right hand collar grip can be quite controlling. Oh, what a throw! She comes round the back, nice and deep, scores a Wazari. Caracas takes the lead. And now she follows it in with the maturity of her judo and experience that she has. That transition was nice and smooth as she works for the arm lock as much as going for the hold down as well. Another wee turnover there. Still keeping her opponent Koban under pressure and working on that arm. She's not lost sight of the Jujikatami, but really hasn't had the opportunity to extend further than pressure. But beautifully done there. Attacks the furthest leg apart, really overstretched herself. A gutsy move. It could have gone horribly wrong for her on that one, but it just showed the upper body control that she had. And once more she comes in with that right and takes the field.
And she has the most beautiful footwork.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Got caught today. It was Pavia who brought her down.
Pavia took her down, yeah.
Yeah. But in the past, she's come up with the most incredible how she was. In fact, she threw Matsumoto Kaori of Japan, who went on to win the Olympic title.
Yes.
She threw her in that 2009 bronze medal contest in Rotterdam. Matsumoto had picked up an injury in her defence when she went into to that contest injured.
There you've got it again.
Yeah.
Sumigashi right through, scoring a Wazari Aseti upon to take the bronze medal. Well, definitely the maturity won out on this contest. 2
good scores from Caracas Hedvig, brings her the bronze medal in the under 57 kilo category. It's a 5th place finish for Safo Koban of Germany. Good one, wasn't it?
It was. It was a nice technical and very tactical match, and it flowed. It wasn't too aggressive. Like we've seen quite a few aggressive fights, a lot of engaging, hard gripping styles. But that was quite an elegant sort of display of judo there. And look at the feet work. Ooh. Bit of a banana skin going on there. She came in for the Uchimata and just lost her control.
At the same time that Karakash was coming for the Ukuri Ashibare. That stretch there for the Tanio Toshi going around the back, you know, it is absolutely full-blooded. That's what we're talking about with, you know, some of the fighters we saw. Yeah,
there's no
go for it.
There's no coming back out of that one. You go for it or you don't.
She was busy, wasn't she, Karakash?
Well, Karakash did extremely well right from the beginning. She dominated it, she outgripped her, she outstyled her. And the maturity just seemed to ooze out of her.
Coming up next, the final of the under 57 kilo category. Anna Borowska of Poland faces Lien Chenling of Chinese Taipei. It'll be Borowska in the white judogi, Lien in blue, and the referee in the middle for this one will be Nedim Bayat of Turkey. Here is Loretta.
Well, these two have never fought each other in the past, but you've got world ranking 17 to 13. Lien, for me, has been an exceptional athlete today, showing sort of a great repertoire of techniques, especially with that Uchimata, those leggy techniques that have pulled quite a few along the way. Borowska, junior European champion back in 2014, showing great potential, this young lady for Poland, and exceptional Niwaza, which is no surprise coming from Poland.
Walking in.
She looks so confident, doesn't she? Yeah.
The bronze medalist of the 2018 Asian Games Jakarta from Chinese Taipei, Lien Chenling.
Well, this is going to be an interesting match.
Walking in with Lien was the 4 times Grand Slam gold medal winner from Japan, Hashimoto Yuki. 4 Grand Slam gold medals. Not bad, is it?
Yeah, we saw her in the warm-up area earlier on, didn't we? I was surprised to see her. I just was shocked looking at her little face of big leggy techniques.
Yeah.
Lien, very strong, good transition, piles the pressure on, but Borowska is very comfortable in the Niwaza and doesn't look too phased. Needs to settle down, has to compose herself a little bit in this earlier minute of the contest. Really try and make a mark, try and control the gripping style. It's easier said than done. Lien takes hold of the lapel. She has that ability to grip and move well, and then throws that Uchimata, those leggy techniques in that can become so dangerous. Flurry of Ashiwaza sweeps just to really detract from the big technique that's coming.
We held the World Masters here in 2015. 4 years ago, is it? 4 years ago we were here for the World Masters, and Hashimoto was a silver medalist back then. Now in the chair.
Unbelievable.
Maybe she likes Morocco.
Uchimata.
Yeah, good effort.
She's got such a range from executing that technique. And now once more a transition, she's on the attack, looking for the opening there. She's still not let up. The pressure is there all the time on her opponent, Borowska. Hanging on for dear life, really just all over the place there, slightly frustrated. And so far, Lien has dominated not only the pace on which this contest is going, but she's dominated by being with the first attacks and the more dominant attacking style that she's got.
I don't know why it was that when we were talking about Autumn Pavia winning her, getting into the bronze medal contest and eventually losing out, I neglected to add in there Sierra Leone Sissik of France. There's the aforementioned Hashimoto Yuki. Yeah, Sissik is up there as well, heading Pavia. And she's got a bit of work to do as Autumn Pavia to climb that ladder. Huge job.
Yeah, there's and Suzy, but she's been really good in the last openings. We saw her in Paris. She was in Düsseldorf. I'm quite sure we saw her there, did we not?
I don't remember if she took part in Düsseldorf. Yeah, she did. Yeah, won a bronze medal.
Yeah, I thought she had. She was really strong, and a youngster coming through.
There's a nice look there on the left side from Borowska with that left leg and looking to go
well,
in the other direction.
It's the first time she's made any impression in this contest so far. She's got the high collar grip she's desperately trying to get, but she's loitering around on that leg, as you can see. But I think that leg is just getting tempted by her opponent. Lien's just showing that left side as if to say, just attack it, just go for it, because I'm waiting for the counter.
Single Shido picked up by Borowska. This one looks as though it's going to go into golden score.
No, you can see Lien just showing that left. That's the danger. She's tempting Borowska with that left leg to attack it. She's really setting her up. What she's trying to do is set her up. But no, she doesn't take the bite, but she goes for the opposite leg. Goes for the right leg, but you can see that left leg hovering there from Lien.
Lien's got a reputation of having a good deal of prowess on the ground, and Borowska has been noticeable for not going anywhere near it.
Oh yeah. And her groundwork's very good as well, which shows you the threat that she feels. But she's hovering about on that left leg, and you just sense that she's trying to set it up, but she's waiting far too long. And it's a Shido for that, just waiting too long of her playing a game here with her. Uchimata, Kosota, moving around. Oh, stumbles are there. Takes the back supporting leg. And just into the first minute of golden score. It's gone so quick, really, and it's been an interesting battle between both these athletes. Could go either way. Lien, again, moving around, stumbles her opponent to her face. Works away in the Niwaza, looking quite dangerous there as she wraps. Just loses the head control, but she's got the Osakomi.
Yeah.
And it's quite interesting. She loses the head, but with her arm, she's got the arm lock there if she just looked around.
She's happy with the Osaiwaza.
But she's locked that arm, as you can see. She's powerless.
Tap out as well. Oshiro Kezugatami, just fell into it.
Yes.
It's an unusual way. I'm sure it wasn't planned there.
She actually thought she'd escaped from the Sangaku.
Yeah, exactly.
And when the head slipped, she just put herself into the Osakomi.
Yeah, and Chen of Chinese Taipei it is who takes the gold medal in the under 57 kilo category. We're going to have some highlights from the final, and then we'll be back with the awarding ceremony for the men in the under 66 kilo category. Right, we come now to the awarding ceremony for the men in the under 66 kilo category. The medals will be presented by the General Treasurer of the International Judo Federation, Mr. Nasser Al-Tamimi. The first of the bronze medals goes to Sebastian Seidel of Germany. Bronze medal too for Yelan Sedekjanov of Kazakhstan. Silver medal goes to Mohamed Abdel Magoud of Egypt. The gold medal goes to Sador Nurilayev of Uzbekistan. Now the national anthem of Uzbekistan. That's the winning quartet there. Sedekjanov and Seidel were the bronze medalists. Abdel Magoud picked up the silver. It was Nurilayev who took the gold medal. We've got a highlights package for you coming up now, and then immediately after that we'll come back for the last of the awarding ceremonies. That's the under 57 kilo category. Let's take a look at some of the highlights from today's judo. Right, we come now to the awarding ceremony for the women in the under 57 kilo category. The medals are being presented by the Vice President of the International Judo Federation and President of the African Judo Union, Mr. Habib Sissoko. The first of the bronze medals goes to Karakash Hedvig of Hungary. Medal also for Timna Nelson-Levy of Israel. Silver medal goes to Anna Borowska of Poland. The gold medal goes to Lien Chen-Ling of Chinese Taipei. Number 13 on the world ranking list at the moment, Lien Chen-Ling. This will help to push her up there, possibly into the top 10. Second Grand Prix gold medal. Been a while since the first. Back in Budapest in 2015. Happy to be back on the podium. And now the national anthem of Chinese Taipei. third time that Lien has had anthem on the IGF World Tour. 2 Grand Prix gold medals
Monsieur
and a Grand
Savary
Slam.
Percy, inspecteur général du
Happy
ministère de la
times
Jeunesse.
for Lien Chenley.
Ladies
With
and
that
gentlemen,
medal,
the VIPs come together
we
for
have
the family
come to
picture
the end of
moment.
day 1. Uzbekistan at the top of the medal table with 2 medals. Spain, France, and Chinese Taipei have picked up a gold medal each. We're going to be back tomorrow at 11 o'clock with more action from day 2 of the Marrakech Grand Prix. We'll have the under 73 and under 81 kilo categories for men, and for women it'll be the under 63 and under 70 kilo categories. But from Loretta Cusack Doyle and myself, it's bye-bye for now.
Bye-bye.